Hello my loves, Sundown here coming at you with another video, and I'm going to warn you, if you get sick really quick or if you have a weak stomach, sign off now. That's right, you heard it again. Do not use rice water because you have the potential to possibly kill your hair one strand at a time. I know you guys are probably like, Stan, are you talking about this rice water thing again? The conversation has never stopped. I've received these messages just today alone. It's a conversation that is ongoing, that never ends, and my students have been on my head like, saying you have to address this because we've already dived really deep into this, but they were like saying if they could just see what we see, then maybe they would stop commenting like that. So honestly, I didn't want to do it, but here we go. So let's get directly into this. You guys have seen a billion videos on rice water and how to make it. So yeah, I'm not going to teach you how to make rice water in this video because that is not what this is about. I made this rice water on the 11th and I am filming this video the very next day, which is the 12th. Okay, so this is only 24 hours of fermentation. All right, okay, yes. So now I have already made the slides, you guys, and here is a low porosity hair. This is low porosity hair, clean, without anything on it. The little squiggly piece you see at the top, that one little squiggly piece is actually a part of the lens. It's not anything that's in the slide. Okay, so there's a little bit of water there on the hair shaft and things of that nature, but as you can see, this is low porosity hair and the cuticle is completely smooth and shut. Here we go with high porosity hair. As you can see from this angle, the cuticle is open. Now it looks like the cuticle is a little cut, but it's not. It's just the way that I am picking up this frame. But as you can see with high porosity hair, there are quite a few spots that are open and lifted. Yes, this is one really good pick of a piece of the open cuticle, and this is just normal high porosity hair. Okay, this is how high porosity hair looks. So remember, low porosity is closed and high porosity is open. Now, this is a really up close shot of the hair. Yes, so I want you to see what is happening slowly. So this is once again high porosity hair. Now look at this high porosity hair and look at how it's lifted. Look at all of the grooves. I really want you to pay attention to how both of these strands of hair look before rice water is introduced. The little clip that you saw before was just a little frame of rice water as it is being put into the slide. Now here we go. We have introduced rice water to the high porosity hair. And you're watching this in real time, you guys. Now, of course, I had to speed everything up because on the camera, things happen slowly, like actually inside. But you are watching what is happening under a microscope the second that rice water is put on high porosity hair. Now, as you can see, this high porosity cuticle is open. So this rice water is going directly inside of the hair shaft. Okay, you can see that with your own two eyes. It's going directly in with no problem. The little bubbles that you see, that is water. I want you guys to know exactly what you're looking at. The bubbles are water, and everywhere black is rice water. Okay, I want you guys to remember, I know you guys misunderstood what I was saying about lactic acid. We'll get to that at the end, but yeah, now we're going to switch over. This is high porosity, low porosity hair and rice water. Don't you see the difference? Now the low porosity hair has a cuticle that is completely shut, so it's not having it. Low porosity hair is not having it, is not letting this rice water in at all. Now, that goes for all products when you're dealing with low porosity hair. This is why I am completely against rice water. Now, the bacteria that you're growing with the rice water is violent, honey. It is violent. Now, if you have high porosity hair, you don't have any of that violence at all because the cuticle is open. But with low porosity hair, it's closed. So you can see it's getting darker and darker before your very eyes, you guys. I am not editing anything. Only thing that I did was speed it up just so it wouldn't be like 3, 4, 5 hours long. Okay, over on my Patreon there will be more of the real-time clips, but this is what's growing, you guys. The lactic acid bacteria is now getting a new game plan. I'm sorry, not lactic acid bacteria. The rice water is getting new direction now. Now it's like the bacteria is like, we have to group up and we have to get stronger. We have to grow. I'm gonna give you guys a really up close and personal glimpse of the bacteria that is like leading everything, which is the clip that you got at the very beginning. But this is how it's growing. This is how it's growing, and this is how it's going. Remember, this is still low porosity hair. And now all of the rice water is grouping together and getting stronger and stronger to wrap itself around the low porosity hair strand, because it's not letting it inside. So you can see these groups and this cluster, these clusters of bacteria are getting larger and larger and larger and larger. And the longer you guys watch it, you are going to see that they are very violent. It's not anything that's like subtle, and it's not uniform. They're not growing at a uniformed rate. If you can see right up there in the upper right hand corner, you guys, there's a really huge cluster there, and it's just completely and totally overtaking this low porosity hair strand. So on all of my other rice water videos, when you guys look in the comments, you see there's so many people like, oh my god, yeah, I put the rice water on my hair and all of my hair fell out. Well, those are the people who have low porosity hair. And when you have a low porosity hair and you put rice water on your hair, this is what's happening. It's not up for debate. It's not up for discussion, you guys. I'm not giving you anything that I have made up in my head. You're watching it with me under a microscope. I went live so everybody could see me do it on live, so nobody can say that I doctored anything up or anything like that. So I'll leave the unlisted link in the description box below, because only my Patreons got to see that video. But yeah, you guys, well, yeah, look at that. Look at it. So now we're gonna go ahead and switch back over, okay? But look at this. Look at what is going on here, you guys. Look at how deep and dark and how violently this is growing and moving. Look at this. I can't make any of it up, you guys. It's grouping together. And it's completely taking control. I'm not moving the actual thing or anything. This is what's happening, you guys. If you have low porosity hair and you put rice water in your hair, this is what is happening to your hair. We only look at things at face value and what we see on social media, what we see online, what people say work, but this is what's really happening. This is why low porosity hair is literally ruined whenever you put rice water on it, because it doesn't know how to act. Look at how large these groups are getting. You're watching it in real time, and look at how it's growing right before your very eyes, you guys. Low porosity hair, rice water is not your cut. I'm sorry, it's just not, okay? So now we're just gonna go ahead and let that low porosity hair and the rice water, we're gonna let it, you know, kind of do its thing, and we're gonna come back to that in a minute. But you can see what's going on. You see that big one right there in the corner, honey? Yeah. They're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This low porosity hair baby is fighting for its life. Do you hear me? And you can see right here, none has gotten inside at all, but it's coming. Oh, honey, it's coming. It's trying, but that low porosity hair is not having it. So now we are going to switch off and go back over to our high porosity hair. Okay, so this is what a form of the bacteria. Now peep this. You see it right before your eyes, this bacteria grouping up with everything else that is around it, and you can see it's getting darker and darker and darker and darker and darker as the bacteria grows. So everybody wants to argue with me in the comments like, oh, there's nothing wrong with rice water. Listen, if this makes you feel comfortable, by golly, you use it, honey, okay? So let's move back to high porosity hair. Now, high porosity, this is going to be everyone who loves rice water, everyone who swears by rice water. Remember how that high porosity hair looked at the beginning? Look at it now, okay? Because all of that rice water went inside. Look at the high porosity hair. It looks good right from the surface. From this angle, we're gonna go deeper with the microscope, but this is more rice water that I ended up putting inside of it, because as you guys just saw, it sucked up everything. So I wanted to put a little bit more of it in there. Remember, through time, it is constantly growing, so now it's bigger. Look at this big cloud, okay? You can see this is all of the dark stuff that was in the low porosity hair. And now it's over here with the high porosity hair, but it's behaving a little different. It's still just as dark. It's still just as violent, but the high porosity hair has a cuticle that is open and letting it in with no problem. So you can watch with your own eyes. Look, it's just absorbing. It's just sucking it all in. All in. It's sucking it all in. So this violent bacteria isn't going anywhere, you guys. It's just going inside of your hair. High porosity hair is on the inside. Low porosity hair, it can't get in. The low porosity hair has a barrier that's not letting the bacteria inside. And you guys can see it moving on your own. I'm not moving it and touching it. This is how high porosity hair behaves with rice water. You can see the bacteria is now going inside. It's still in big groups and clusters, but it doesn't have to work as hard, and it's not getting as dark because it doesn't have to get violent. You just watched it with your very own eyes. It's going deep inside swiftly, very, very fast. And this high porosity hair looks amazing now. It feels great. Yes, I understand that it does. And you're going to see why it does in a second. Well, I mean, at this point, I would think that you would see exactly why it's happening. And so this is still the high porosity hair for a second. And this is the bacteria, you know, grouping together, and it's slowly moving into the high porosity hair strand, okay? These are just a couple of flicks of the bacteria as it's growing and going into this high porosity hair strand. We're going to get back to the high porosity in a second. I know this video is long, you guys. Check the timestamps below, but I had to get into it. Low porosity hair again. The low porosity hair is still over here fighting for its life, okay? Still fighting to stay like intact, because this rice water really, really, really wants in. It really, really wants in. It wants in bad, you guys. And look at this. The piece of hair on the top is a piece of hair that is kind of sort of being attacked by the rice water bacteria, but the one on the bottom is completely being jumped. Completely. I can't make it up, you guys. Yeah, I'm good at editing videos, but not this stuff. Not this stuff. That's why I still got the same intro, girl, because I got that somebody made me an intro, girl. I can't make this up. Look at it. The one on the bottom, the strand of hair on the bottom, is being completely overtaken by the rice water. Look at it, you guys. I can't make it up. I can't. This is what's happening to your low porosity hair whenever you use rice water. And this is only 24-hour-old rice water. And high porosity hair, same thing, but you see no smoke, no clouds, no nothing, because everything that is attacking the low porosity hair is on the inside of the high porosity hair. Now, go back and rewind it if you need to, but remember, before, you didn't see these layers. You did not see those layers on the high porosity hair at first. You didn't. Now it has layers because it has absorbed all of that rice water. It has. So now your hair is no longer just your hair. Now your hair has layers of bacteria that have, you know, organized themselves together in layers around your hair strand. So yes, your hair feels amazing, but your hair feels amazing because it's being coated with the bacteria that you grew. And you can't say that I'm making it up because you're watching it right now with your own eyes. Look as the rice water goes inside. You can watch it swim inside of your hair strand. The one on the top, that's the end of the hair strand, and watch as it attaches itself. This big black cloud is all inside of the rice water strand. of the rice water strand, of the high porosity hair strand. I'm sorry, you guys. And it's just going directly inside. I'm going to come back in a second. You're going to see that this actual sample swatch is empty because all of it's going inside. Look at it. It's going right inside high porosity hair, which is everyone who loves rice water, everyone who swears by rice water. This is what's happening to your hair on the inside. Now, you could be 100% okay with that, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then it's okay. But I have high porosity hair, and this, I'm just not comfortable with knowing that this is what's happening to my hair on the inside. I'm just not okay with it. All that black cloud is all being absorbed into your hair. This is all going inside. I'm not making it up. You're watching it yourself. If I was to stop talking, you guys could put this together in your own head. I'm only doing a voiceover because I didn't want to just put this out there with music and then make it so you guys had to try to figure out what was going on your own. This big black cloud is all going inside of the high porosity strand, and it's gonna go in there with no problem. Look at it. So let's go back to low. Okay, low porosity still fighting for its life. Look at it. Look at all of that movement. That is the bacteria moving on its own. I'm not moving anything. Okay, that's what's happening. It's just as simple as that. That's why when I said don't use rice water, that's why I was so passionate about it. And I didn't think that I had to come, you know, with my microscope and everything, because all of the videos telling you to use rice water doesn't have anything like this. It doesn't have this much detail. So I'm thinking, why do I have to pull out my microscope and show them why they shouldn't use it? If I just break it down verbally, it should, you know, be enough. But you know, that wasn't enough, which is okay. But now I can show you. Now let's get into it. Do you see this little string of thing right there and that big little ball that's like being pulled with that little string? Well, that little string, you probably think, oh, that's a piece of hair. No, baby, that is the thing that is keeping the ball rolling and gathering everything together. And we're gonna get a really, really up close look at that in a second. But this little thingamajigger right here, that is the worker bee. That is the queen. That is the queen or king, whatever you want to call it. And that is the one getting everybody in order and grouping everything together. And that's not the only one. There are multiple stream things of that. Okay, so now I'm going to look for it, and as we're looking for it, I'm also going to be going in and zooming in closer and closer and closer and closer, and you're going to notice that the things are going to visually begin to change. And it's not because I'm on a different slide, it's because we're going closer. So that big circle you saw, that's just one of those water spots up close, and here it is. Here it is. So you see, things look a little different now. That's because we went really, really, really close. That's that little thing we were just looking at. Look at it, you guys. And you see the one moving at the bottom in the lower right hand corner? That is slowly going to attach itself to it, and it's just going to keep reproducing itself. This is simply out of the rice water. 24 hours, you guys. 24 hours. So just imagine how big it will be when I keep, you know, showing you guys and updating under a microscope. But this is what's living inside of your rice water. This is what's going inside of your hair when you use your precious rice water, you guys. So if you still want to continue to use it, then you go ahead. But the passion behind my voice is because I have already seen this under a microscope with rice water like 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Okay, because rice water isn't anything new. Women have been using it for thousands of years, but just because people have been doing things for thousands of years does not mean that you guys should do it, because you don't know the tools that they had when they were doing it, and you do not know the education that they had behind them backing it. And you guys, this is not okay. I'm sorry, just for me. As you guys watch it, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of you who were, you know, saying stuff to me, crazy stuff to me, and the comments still feel the same way. Like, I love my rice water, so what? But you guys, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not. And right here, this is actually a little clip of yogurt under a microscope. And as you can tell, yogurt doesn't look anywhere near as violent as this does, okay, you guys? So this right here is the high porosity hair after it's been sitting for a while, and as you can see, it is beginning to lump up. It's getting very lumpy because it is full of this bacteria, okay? So yeah, you guys, get into it, I guess. If that's what you want to do, Sugarfoot, do it. But yeah, you see the little is growing and they're multiplying. The little stringer like thing that I showed you, it's right there. It's right there. And it is making its way inside of the high porosity hair strand. This is the high porosity hair strand. Well, no, I think this one's low. No, this is high too. You see how it's absorbing? And that little string thing is inside of high porosity hair. So if you have high porosity hair and you swear by rice water, that's what's inside. This is relaxed hair, and this is Olaplex under a microscope. As you can see, it looks very, very different. It looks very uniformed and controlled. So you guys head over to my other channel and subscribe over there, because we're gonna go really deep, okay? So I hope that you know, did something for you guys. I know people are really emotional about the rice water thing for whatever reason, but for me, I just really wanted to come and show you guys the behind the scenes, and not even the behind the scenes, the inside of the microscope. Because to be honest with you guys, you don't have to have a certain type of license to buy a microscope. You just have to have a couple $100s. To be honest with you, you guys, like you've already seen in the video, one thing people were talking about is like, oh, you have a relaxer so you can talk. Well, don't have a relaxer anymore. You guys will notice if you go back in my videos over the last couple of years, my hair is always different. I literally cut my hair and grow it back every 5 minutes, okay? You can make wiser decisions as it pertains to your hair, okay, you guys? Because rice water is not for everybody, and I have high porosity hair, yet I have chosen not to use rice water because anything that grows at the rate that rice water does uncontrollably is not something that I desire to put in my hair. You've already seen with your own eyes that it does violently group together and force itself within. Yeah, so you guys, make sure you really think about that. And then high porosity hair, if you've seen the bacteria up close and personal and it still makes you comfortable to use it, then by all means, my darling, you know, you go ahead and do it. However, I just wanted to put the information out there. I am in no way, shape, or form trying to control what anybody does. I have high porosity hair too. I've never used rice water before because before I made the decision to use it, I did the research on my own, saw this, and decided, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll do other things. But I completely understand when having high porosity hair, you find something that makes your hair feel amazing and you're like, okay, yes, I'm gonna go ahead with it. But in my opinion, you guys, rice water is not that cut. Within the lactic acid bacteria, rice water is the main ingredient, okay? You do have to add a little bit of milk to the rice water to make full-fledged lactic acid bacteria, but you guys understand there are hundreds and thousands of rice water videos online where you guys are introducing all types of different proteins thinking that is going to balance out the smell. And sure, I've seen countless videos where people adding milk to rice water, and that is what creates lactic acid bacteria. I am not trying to control anyone. I make videos like this to get your mind thinking and itching, so you'll go and do the research for yourself, okay? If you want more videos like this, they will not be here on this channel, but they will be on my new channel. So more videos like this, like I keep saying, then head over there, subscribe to that channel over there. Make sure before you leave here, you subscribe and you click that bell for post notifications, because I'm going silk press crazy after today, okay? You have a whole lot of silk press videos coming up. I just wanted to get this out of here and get everybody who is really into education over to my educational channel. And like I said, if you want to see these videos, make sure you head over to my Patreon so you can see these videos in real time. I love you guys so much, and until my next video, girl, bye girl.